Traders, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be going over NIO. Now they have earnings coming up Monday morning. So Monday morning, this is going to be a pretty talked about stock. There's going to be lots of volume coming in, and NIO is having a large influx of volume coming into call options as well as some put options as well. But the call options look a lot more attractive, and it's showing that people are pushing for the bullish aspect. Now NIO continues to beat on earnings, continues to deliver as a company, and there's a lot of things I want to look at for the bullish case. Now you've heard me talk about NIO a lot in the past few weeks, and I'm thinking this is going to be one of the last times to potentially add more positions for myself. This is not financial advice, so make sure you do your own due diligence and take what I say with a grain of salt. But before we get to that content, I need you to do one thing and one thing only. Hit that sub button down below, leave a thumbs up, and have the notifications turned on. We post videos every single day about the trades that we are taking. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. Before we jump into the actual content, I do want to cover a few things. Now NIO, I have made a few videos basically since they dropped below the $55 range. I have been loading up on actual stock. Now I'm actually taking positions in the call option side of things. I'm targeting the end of March to be a little bit conservative because we want to make sure the indexes start bouncing back as well to really save these positions if they kind of start moving sideways. Overall though, I do see NIO upticking because I do expect earnings to absolutely shred. We're going to get into some of the data behind that as well, but the deliveries are overall through the roof, and they're kind of beating Tesla and their competitors on the Chinese market right now. I also do want to cover some of the rumors going on about potential partnerships. This really is just a rumor, and I don't trade based on rumors unless they are very, very solid and from very reputable people. So if you watch any YouTubers going over partnerships or anything like that, they're not very reputable. I've looked at these overall mentions and they're not high source reps. So I would take that with a grain of salt. Just saying, do your own DD there, because that's a very risky thing to be trading based on. But let's get right into some of these articles. Okay, so I looked at a few separate different articles to really cover, and this one does the best job, give or take, explaining the upside of their revenue and what's going on with them. And it really covers a lot of the stuff I wanted to cover here. So if we start here, earlier this year, NIO said it had delivered a record 17,300 vehicles in quarter number 4. While it's tiny compared to Tesla's 180,000 deliveries during the quarter, NIO's numbers represents 111% increase year over year and beat upward end of its guidance of 16.5 to 17,000 vehicles for the quarter. Now, something we need to talk about here. The business model of their cars are totally different. Tesla does the charging station. Tesla, you can charge it at home and you get these charging stations. NIO does the battery swapping. If you're not familiar with that, you should look into it. Basically, they're just swapping out batteries at gas stations. It's a little bit easier and you don't have to rely on leaving your car charging at home. So you have that convenience of using a regular car like gasoline, but you're just swapping batteries. While the increasing deliveries are encouraging for the NIO bulls, the company has been in the red. In other industries, you might expect modest share price action for a money-losing company with negative trailing or forward price to earning ratios. Not so for NIO. The stock gains accelerated last year and into early part of this year, reaching a record high of $67 in January. So I do want to talk about this. Is NIO overpriced? Now, when we compare it to something like Lucid Motors that push up to $60 based on hype alone, I don't think so. NIO has a real product. They're working. They are massively growing very, very quickly in the Chinese market, which is a huge market overall. So that's something really, really positive to look at. And they could be spreading over Asia over the coming years, but they are very much focusing on the center of where their business is coming from. And that's what you really like to see. Could they make a push to America? I don't know. And that's not really the focus of their company. But what they're doing now is focusing on where they're successful, and you're seeing that they're dominating. They're growing massively and rapidly compared to everyone else. Tesla kind of actually reduced production there compared to NIO's tripling in overall valuation and tripling in the overall growth. And then now they're covering a topic that's very important for investors to take into account. NIO, like the vehicles it makes, NIO's shares can't accelerate forever. After hitting a record in January, shares pulled back sharply. Some of that may be from profit taking or cooler heads prevailing ahead of the earning release. There also may be some caution surrounding the tariff relationship between the United States and China, the world's two largest economies. Now, with that tariff, I have no concerns there. I don't think they're going to be blackballed or anything like that. I think NIO is regulated and doing very well at the SEC. They followed all the paperwork. There's no concerns there for me whatsoever. Now, we can look at their earnings report, what they're expected to release. They're expected to have a loss of 7 cents per share, which is normal. They're a newer company, and their losses are currently getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and they're on the scale to being very profitable very, very soon by the end of 2021. The revenue is projected to be 1.1 billion, 1.01, I'm sorry, up 148% from last year. Massive, massive increase. And then the options market is where we want to talk about. As we mentioned in the beginning of the video, looking at March 5th options expiration, put activity has been highest around the 35-40 strikes, but more activity has been seeing upside, particularly in the 50 to 60 calls. So these 60 and 50 calls, these have been coming in and rolling in sooner than later. So earlier in the week, we were seeing puts come in because the market was just taking a giant hit. And now we're seeing more call options rolling in for $50 and $60 because it is absolutely dirt cheap. So that's what you want to see. In a call option, if you don't know, basically betting the market's going to go up by a certain amount of time. And then you can go down and read more about the future of EV in China and globally, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get too much into that, but the earnings are the big part here that I want to focus on. If you don't know, NIO has been killing earnings quarter after quarter for the course of 2020, and I don't see them slowing down. Okay, so looking at NIO, it appears we have bottomed off that 42 marker and then creating higher lows periodically. And now from that dip down that we got on Friday, marking above the VWAP right now, showing that the momentum is definitely switching back to the upside. But where's the potential targets in the short term? Over the next week and a half, honestly, I suspect us to move back to the $59, $60 range. I do see that being an overall resistance, but if we start making that push in the Nasdaq and the SPY start to recover, I definitely see NIO breaking up higher and then eventually pushing past that overall level. I'm saying, and I do really want to side with this, I do think NIO is going to absolutely kill earnings. They're priced at a very good point right now. This $46 level, I don't believe we're going to see this again maybe ever, unless the market starts to take a really massive dump. But overall, from this overall retracement from the market that we've seen, we're getting very good opportunities, and I want to highlight how much I like NIO. I think there is so much potential on this play, and I think this will be one of the best option plays going into 2021. We're getting great opportunities already in the beginning of the year, and this is where I really see the resistance being at this level up here, maybe 55. That is a possible resistance, but this monthly level up here is what I really want to see tested. So if you want to be conservative, you could take some there and then come back down and take more there. So I might take some off the top once we test this level here and then finish off at that range there for my call options. But I do see new highs coming. My price target by the beginning of summer is going to be actually $75. I don't think that that's out of the range. I think that EV is growing rapidly. The demand for it's growing rapidly, and you have so many EV companies coming to the market with no products. NIO has a working product. They're dominating in the battery swapping industry as well. So they're not only in the market, but they're probably the #2 EV in the world, right behind Tesla, and they're killing it in a different sector than Tesla is with the battery swapping tech. Okay, so I didn't cover too much new stuff here. We knew the earnings were going to be good coming Monday morning, the end of Monday. I think it might be at the end of Monday when we get the notification for the actual earnings. I believe it's the morning though. I do think they're going to come out very positive. Now, the only thing that could hold this stock back, in my opinion, is that the indexes kind of slip and keep going down. We have seen AMC and GME pushing up, and when these push up, typically the indexes stay flat, if not push down. And then we have some stuff going on in Syria as well, kind of concerning the US markets. So that is overall a concern. However, once they start picking up, even if they don't start picking up, I see NIO moving flat or to the upside. I don't see them performing poorly. Now, if by some chance NIO comes out with bad earnings, they will in fact dip. That's probably going to happen because it'll be their first negative earnings in about a year. However, I want to reiterate, I don't see negative earnings coming, but that's just me personally. Do your own due diligence. This is not financial advice whatsoever, but I love NIO, and that as the course of 2021 continues, I think this will be one of the best stock plays overall in the EV field, especially. I love what they're doing. Another play I'm going to be looking at is CCIV. I do think Churchill Cap merging with Lucid is going to be a very big thing. I want the pen and paper done before we make a move on that stock, but I love what's going on there. Expect a new video about them coming out very soon. But overall, NIO, this is a clear winner for me personally. Have a good one, guys. Namaste.